JJ Sai Maa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody? How are you and how yourself? Awesome. Just let me see your everybody's faces and energies. Some people are still coming in, so I'm just gonna give you a moment. Let's see. No. All right. So I'm just wondering what people's experiences were like yesterday. Have you had any conversations with the higher self, with spirit, with another aspect of yourself, like connecting to a deeper place? You can, I guess, drop things in the chat, or if you have something you'd really love to share, I'd love to hear also. And we'll have time over the course of these 4 days. Well, I spoke a little bit yesterday about kind of that first sense of feeling spirit going up these temple stairs and having that buoyancy, that kind of sense of there's something bigger, greater, something unseen, another force, another energy. And so that was when I was 16, in high school. And I think it was 16, around there. And kind of this relationship. And I really see this as a relationship that we cultivate. And sometimes it's, oh, sorry. Let me see if I have my mic. I'll put this here. Since I'm traveling, I have my traveling mic set, so it's not the same. Can you hear me now? Okay, awesome. Got this little ball in front of me. So the relationship with higher self, like any relationship, is something that we cultivate. But what I also noticed that because we're here as free will and we're here to experience a lot of things on earth for lifetimes, that aspect, that higher vibrational aspect that we can call the higher self, can take a back seat and kind of watching, observing, see how we're doing, and until we call upon it, because we are in this free will world, until we make that step from our side and call upon the higher self, it kind of watches. But like any great caretaker, if something dangerous looms ahead, it might go, whoa, 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 okay, let's get you back over here. But otherwise, it's like, I don't know if you've ever had a toddler, you're kind of taking care of, you're walking behind them, and you kind of let them do their thing, and they might fall and trip and stuff. But if they start like heading towards the street, you might run after them, like, okay, let's head you over there. Kind of that way where it's there, it's present, and yet will not necessarily interfere unless something goes way off track that it needs to bring you back. And until now. And I say that until now because in this particular lifetime that we're in, a lot is shifting, and for a lot of us, it's that time where we're completing many things that we've come to Earth to complete. And so you may have noticed, how many of you have been in a lot of relationships this time? You thought instead of having this one relationship throughout your lifetime, you had this relationship, you thought it was the one, and then it ended, and then something else comes along. And whether it's an intimate relationship, whether it's a family relationship or with friends, you might think you have this best friend for life, and then the next day they're gone, or for whatever reason, things seem to be at this escalated pace of shifting through. Because this lifetime, we're here to complete a lot of things. We're here to complete threads that we may have started in a previous lifetime. We may be completing things that we made a promise to ourselves to or somebody else. I remember one time Ma even mentioning, remembering a lifetime when Ma had made this commitment to Ma's partner at the time in the past to take him to the light. And in this lifetime, it was this person reappears, and Ma's like realized that, whoa, I don't have to continue with that commitment. It's like one of these commitments. Okay, I'll take you to the light someday. It's like maybe that's not our what we're here to do this time. So to be able to just meet with people, complete a commitment, or come to the place like, I don't think I need this commitment anymore. You know what I mean? So whatever needed to be complete to clear ourselves of contracts, to clear ourselves of promises, to clear ourselves of whatever karma that we've created. In this lifetime, we've had opportunities, and that's why we've been in close relationships with various people that didn't last, but it lasted as long as it needed to. And so in our relationship with our higher self, this is one commitment we don't complete or we don't end, but that relationship may be different this time, in that we become a lot more in partnership consciously, where we're both from our side getting to first know, maybe this time a lot of us actually had the realization we have a connection to this higher aspect, higher self. So to get to know that aspect and to start relating to that aspect. And also from the higher self, it's like poking more. Instead of being back more, it's kind of intervening more. That's at least been my experience, that whether it's the higher self in the aspect of me in another aspect, or whether it's the guides or the beings who are in this unseen side of the dance we have on earth, because we have relationships with the seen, our family, our friends, our community, and then we have our relationships with the unseen, spirit, higher self, soul, guides, the celestial beings, the archangels, the angels, the ascended masters, and a whole slew of beings. And in many ways, the unseen beings are much more present in our day-to-day lives, even though we don't see them. Like they're always around. They're always, like, you may not always see your parents, or you may not always see your siblings or your friends, and you may think you're a recluse in your house for a year during COVID, but the unseen realms have been there, very present the whole time, including the higher self, and you can't really sever that connection because it's a part of you. And so when I say that side of the veil has been much more proactive, whereas until now meaning other lifetimes, maybe more in the background, waiting to be called on, waiting for us to ask, to realize first that they're there, and then to start creating the relationship from our side. Now, as our frequencies go up and start getting closer to theirs, and we start having more awareness, they can also sense and start making themselves more present. And although I'm calling this program higher self, it's like the higher self told me to do this program, so whatever's coming through is coming through. So it's interesting because I'm not talking about what I thought I was talking about today, but they're present here. And so the relationship from the unseen realms, at least unseen visually, in the third dimensional sense, for many people, they're the seen world, like my energy healer teacher that I trained with for many years, Rosalind Bruyere. Her relationship to what we would call or what I just mentioned as the unseen, is as tangible as what we would call the seen as it is for Ma. And Ma sees everything as clearly as you or I, and sometimes more clearly, the ascended masters and the guides and all these realms. And so this interaction is much more present. And so it's at this stage, it's not even this far reach, like where is my higher self and how do I connect with it and how do I hear it? It's like they're like, yo, I'm here, come on, listen. And so it's like, okay, I'm present, I'm available, and how do we create this relationship? And you can ask, and you can start establishing that way, because we all come in with the channels of perception. And those of you who have taken the power of your minds, power in your minds, you know the different higher channels of perception. Like the fifth dimension, we have sight, we have sound, we can hear, we can feel, kinesthetic, we can taste, we can smell. And those are the realm of what I would call the lower self. The self that is, it's not a hierarchy, it's vibrationally the lower self is our interaction to the third dimension, and its tools are the five senses of the third dimension. And then you have the higher self, and the tools of the higher self, or the way the higher self can relate through intuition, right? Through imagination, through will and memory, and these realms. But it's from the third dimensional aspect, the intangible parts. And so even the third dimensional aspects of sight, sound, touch, smell, taste have their higher self aspect. They have the, like, you can see through the visual eye, but you can also see through the inner eye. You can hear through your auditory ear, but you can also hear through that inner ear where you hear the voices in your head. Right? You can touch a person, and you could touch a physical object, and you have that kinesthetic sense, but you can touch through energy, right? And I think everybody has smelled the fragrance of Ma, even when it's not in the presence of Ma, and in physical presence of Ma. And so, and taste, and you can imagine a taste, and it will spark all of your senses. Like if you were just now imagine having a slice of lemon in your mouth, and if you imagine it and really taste that sourness of lemon, yeah, how many people just had a little drool in their mouth, right? So all of these have that kind of intangible from the third dimension aspect. And so all of those can be channels to connect with your higher self. And we're all born, we kind of have our go-to, like some people are very visual, some people are very auditory, some people are very kinesthetic, less in taste and smell, but also that. And some have a dominant channel. So in cultivating that relationship with the higher self, you can start, and not just the higher self, but all the beings and celestial beings and the ascended masters and the archangels and angels. You can start to first notice what is your channel of communication, and start becoming aware of that channel. Thank you. So that channel, and I'll take that question in a moment. It's a vibration. Notice it's a vibration. For example, I remember Rosalind speaking about how sometimes people start hearing this high pitch in their ear, and they think they have tinnitus or tinnitus, which however you pronounce it, and this sound. And she said sometimes it's tinnitus, and sometimes it's the higher realms trying to talk to you, but they're in such a high frequency it sounds like a mosquito in your ear. And like one way is you can raise your frequency. The other way is you can ask them, can you slow it down so I can actually hear you? And so they'll it's taking an auditory system and slowing it down. For them, it's harder because for them, it's instead of talking like this, they have to talk like this so you can hear. But it kind of works, and it's easier if you can raise your vibrations so you can start hearing. So you can see how that interaction can start working, but you can say, I don't quite understand. Can you help me out here? So Jesse, when I listen for my higher self, something beautiful and high vibration response, how do I know if it's my higher self versus another high vibration being? You can ask, who are you? And you'll get a sense. And in that relationship, because it's vibrational, like Ma says, Ma can find us anywhere in the cosmos because of our vibration. So the ascended masters have a certain vibration, like Master Jesus has his vibration, and Mother Mary has her vibration. There's a certain vibration when a certain being comes in that you can feel. And I think you've all felt the presence when a certain presence just calling them, they arrive, and you can feel that presence of their being. And then as you cultivate that relationship with your higher self, it's your vibration on a higher level, right? It's you vibrating at a fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional level. So there's that cultivation. And if it's a high vibe, the other thing is if it's a high vibrational being, you'll feel generally that love. You know, when they're in sixth dimension, fifth to sixth dimension above, they live in that love vibration. So you feel that love, the serenity. You can feel that joy. You can feel aspects, and then as you create the relationship, you can really ask. And I remember when Saint Germain started working with me. This is way before I met Ma. This is when the dragons started working with Saint Germain, Archangel Michael, and Master Jesus and Mary Magdalena all started working with me. I want to say about 30 years ago, and I had to really smile when I met Ma, because it's like Ma's gang is my gang. And then I realized that Ma had guided me the whole time, and Ma's gang has been guiding me the whole time. But I started communicating, and they took me through baby steps. And I remember, well, the dragons took me to Hong Kong. In living in Japan, there's a much stronger relationship to the dragons because they're the guardians of the land. They're not the fire breathing what they are depicted as kind of like the monsters in the church in the West. They're living, breathing a lot. Is earth. It has the earth element. They're all four elements, or all five elements, including ether. But a lot earth element or water element, like the water dragons here. There's a temple here that they make offerings to the water dragons. They actually place eggs in the pond in the water, and you could feel the dragons come to collect the eggs, and you could feel the fishy breath of the dragon. So that's the water dragon. So each dragon has their energy, and then they have their colors. You have the golden dragons, you have the silver dragons, and Jesse, I feel your dragon getting very excited here. You have the rainbow dragons, and all of them. They're really waking up right now. But then, so the dragons that started working with me, in Japan and in Hong Kong, they were part of like my awakening into my journey, and then they led me to the places, and that's a whole nother story. If we want to take a week and just talk about that, we can do that. But they took me to the short version is they guided me to go live in Hong Kong for a while, and I thought I was going to work with the dragon ley lines and the dragons, and that work ended pretty quickly. But then that's when Saint Germain stepped in and started talking to me. And I still have that my main channel is kinesthetics. I feel them, but I also have that vision aspect where I see things and how it gets kind of locked into my subconscious is through vision. And I'm just sharing this because everybody has a different way that they relate, just so that it might spark something in you. And so the vision, when I see Saint Germain, or think of my first encounter, not the first, but like the first time that Saint Germain started working with me, is on an escalator in Hong Kong in a mall. So they can appear anywhere. It doesn't have to be on a mountaintop in serenity, in Zen position. I was going up an escalator in a mall in Hong Kong, and the voice, and it was a very distinct voice. And it was like, okay, go up this escalator. Now turn around, go down this escalator. It's like, go up this escalator. Now go down this escalator. As if it was like, am I hearing you? And can I follow the instructions? So it was kind of creating that baseline of a relationship. Like, good, okay, you're hearing me. Now, and then started doing some work with me on the body. There were things I needed to clear and release, and the guiding into how to feel that and release that, feel that and move that. And it could be as simple as that. Suddenly you might hear a voice, go to that corner, turn right. Go to this corner, turn left. Or it might be a feeling. I feel to do this, or I feel guided to do that. It might be a vision. You might see something. It's like, I know that cliff. Oh, it's that cliff in Big Sur. Maybe I need to go to Big Sur. And it could be something small, it could be something big. They started me out with go up this escalator, go down this escalator. And then it was like, okay, feel this part of your body. Now go here. Then it would be like, go to this street corner between this street and this street and stand there. It's like, okay, stand there. And then whoosh, this incredible sense of energy rush. Then it was like, okay, the next person you talk to, wherever you're going, go there. They were going to the Yucatan, and I was in Tokyo. It's like, okay, I guess I'm going to the Yucatan. Where do I get my ticket? So it was baby steps, and then when you took the baby steps, then they came with a little bit more of a challenge, a little bit more of a stretch. Like, are you willing to do this? But in that place, it was a part, it was like in Saint Germain talking. Then it was like this other aspect of, is it my guides or is it my higher self? And it was like, in a point, they were all kind of together. It was like the voice, it was the guidance. And when I say the voice, it wasn't like this booming sound. It was like a voice that welled up within me. I just heard the words or felt the words or sensed the words. Maybe I saw the words. It's part of it was getting to know what I'm feeling or sensing or seeing or hearing, and trying it out to see if I'm really seeing it. Does that make sense? And playing with it. And if it's coming from a higher source, and this is the key, you want to go crown chakra above. You don't want to hear, and you don't want to, you when you're connect, you want it to be you want to be connected, crown chakra above. You want to be connected to something above this dimension. You don't want to be connected to the lower frequencies or lower dimensions. And the telltale is, it'll always be in the vibration of love. It could be strong, it could be joyful, it could be booming, but it'll be like this 100% love. That's at least how I experienced it. And it won't be like threatening or say, if you don't do this, this is going to happen. It's not that voice. And it's not that energy. So, and like we say, the higher self or the ascended masters or the archangels or the angels, they're a higher vibrational frequency. And in that connection, we want to raise our frequency as much as possible. So, doing our sadhana, doing the work, clearing the energies that are not of that high vibration, meaning anything that's not love, we want to clear it. And when I say love, it's a continuum, it's a spectrum. But love, the vibration of love or above, it's in the many have read maybe Power versus Mind. Somebody help me out here with the name of who wrote it, but it's written a few decades ago. And it was somebody who scientifically used kinesiology to rank vibrations, and where we are as a vibration, thank you, yes, Power versus Force, Daniel Hawkins, that's right. And that the earth plane at that time when he wrote it, which was, what was it, in the 70s maybe? It was a while ago. When they recorded it, I think the average vibration on the earth was still like 100 on scale of 0 to 1,000, and avatars were like 1,000. Enlightened beings started from 700, and so they ranked out the frequencies, but the average of the human was like 100. So anything below 100 was like really, really low frequency, and you only started shifting into like the higher frequencies from 200. But that's a whole. If you have a chance to read the book, it's really helps understand how frequencies work. But when you're talking your higher self, so you're talking at a frequency over like 500, I think, because that's the frequency of love or above. That's when you start going into these higher realms. And when we start vibrating at that level, then we start vibrating at the higher dimensional frequencies. When we start, that's why yesterday I spoke about John below his higher self coming in, facing him, turning around and backing into him. It's because his frequency reached that probably like 500 or above that level. And when we start really merging with the higher self, when we start bringing our frequency to that, we're shifting to that fifth dimensional aspect of us, is another way to say that. And when we do that, because not everybody has to be enlightened for the planet to be enlightened. The lower the frequency, the less influence you have on the planet. So when you think of the amount of people who are living at survival level, so the majority of people are still, at that time of Hawkins, when he wrote this, and probably still now, the majority of people are still under 200, under 100. It doesn't mean the majority of people on the planet need to be 500 for the planet to go into enlightenment. It means there needs, because it gets exponential. Once you start, like, it was like, I think one avatar changes a few million people. An enlightened being on the planet changes a few 100,000. I'm grasping at numbers, but it's something like that, that kind of expansion. We already, just by being in that frequency, we already influence thousands, if not tens of thousands of people. So take that in. Just by being 300, 400, 500 on that scale of frequency, meaning that if we're living in joy, in gratitude, in love, if we no longer live in judgment, worry, angst, anxiety, if we no longer live in that, in guilt, that's a big one. And we choose, decide, choose, and we consciously live in love, gratitude, joy. For the majority of our time, we're already shifting tens and thousands of people on the planet just by being here. You don't even have to teach. You don't have to go out there and give sessions. Just by being, that's how much we're influencing the planet. So that brings hope, doesn't it? And that gives incentive, doesn't it, to do our work? Because that's all we have to do. Ma said, just seek enlightenment, just seek moksha, just seek that higher aspect of you who's already there. It's just about letting the rest go. Go for that and you get everything. And it's true. Go for that. If you are enlightened, you are going to shift that planet. You're going to shift your village, your town, your city. So, and you'll get everything. We'll get everything through that. And so when we're live as your higher self means live as your fifth dimensional aspect, live as that higher vibration. And that's all you need to do. So be in the silence. Tune into the silence. Tune into that aspect of you that you can already connect to. Listen. And when I was telling go left, go right, go up, go down to escalate, it wasn't so that I get my life mission from that higher voice. I know what to do. It's simply so I know I'm connected. And once you're connected, be that. Expand that. In this room, in your neighborhood, in your town, and then feel the celestial beings, feel those enchanted beings, feel the dragons and the nymphs and the elementals waking up. They feel your energy and they will start dancing. The angels will be attracted to you. The elementals will come and be with you, and they will start blooming the flowers. They will start clearing the waters. They will start clearing the air. 10 dragons flying around out there are going to clear the whole ozone. I mean, it's not that we have to do a lot. It's that we are being who we are. And that's where Ma's taking us. That's where we're taking us. And we'll put up the link for Spirit Love Healing. That's what Ma's doing with us in those 2 days in Japan, is elevating us into that love, into that frequency. And that's what we're doing in Health Span. That's what we're doing with the veil work. Ma is elevating us that we are this all the time. If you can't join us, tune in. Just be in that Shakti, that energy. Thank you, Shiho. I don't think I probably can't see that very well, so we'll put it in the chat. I wanted to create, if in Japan everybody does these QR codes, so if you put your iPhone to it and click it, it'll give you the link. We have a better link that's easier to see. We'll send it out. Also, thank you, Shiha. Put it in the chat. It'll be easier to copy also. And I'm sharing these 4 days are not, it's not a gimmick to get you into the program. I want you to understand this 4 days is really my gift to be with you. And I wouldn't be doing justice if I didn't let you know what Ma's doing, what the work, or bring you closer into the work that Ma is. And of course, you all feel and know that. I know also many people didn't know we're doing this program in Japan. My bad. So much has been going on, but I wanted to let you know that this incredible work, and we're also going to be on the land here in Izu, which I know a lot of people. Japan is opening on the 11th. It's amazing. On the 11th, just before they're reopening their borders, all the visa requirements are falling away. So if you want to just get on the flight and come, you can come. Yeah. These 4 days, yes, they're recorded, and I have a request. I'm just starting my YouTube channel. Me and social media has just been, if you know me, me and social media has been like a struggle from day one. But I have created a YouTube channel. Tried to load it yesterday. I ran into a lot of different. So we're going to load it. But if I send this out, would you subscribe to my YouTube channel? If I have 100 people subscribe to my YouTube channel, I can actually get a, what do you call it? A vanity. So meaning that it doesn't have to be a number. YouTube channel, I can actually have a name for my YouTube channel, so it's a little easier to share. But I need 100 subscribers for that, so I'll get it up. Actually, I could probably tell you what the YouTube channel is, but I'll get it out to you. I could also, thank you. I could also create for tomorrow. All this technical stuff. I can also create a. I know you don't need yet another. What is it? Telegram channel or group, but I could create a Telegram group for us that I can drop all this into. So you have it. It doesn't have to be a Telegram group that you have to do a lot of stuff in, but it's just for you to do that. Great. So we'll create a Telegram group. Actually, let me get that. And I'll get that here. I'll give you the Telegram group, and then we'll put the YouTube channel in that. How's that? So I got halfway to that. I know we're going to 40 minutes yet again today, but technology. I'll get the information to you. We have all your emails. If you've signed up for this, we could just email you. Otherwise, tomorrow we'll put everything in the chat so you have everything. But we will get the YouTube up and running and get that to you by email so you have it. And then we'll also get you on a Telegram channel or Telegram group so we can send everything to you easily. Higher self. Love yourself. That's what they're saying. Love yourself as we love you. See yourself as we see you. Know that you have everything. You lack nothing. And you are the creator of the universe. So just let go any part that feels inadequate, because you are amazing. You are the beloved. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for all of you in my life. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow it'll be from our house in Izu, so maybe you'll even get to see the river in the back. JJ Sai Maa, thank you.
Sai Maa.